I received a notification earlier with Tulsi Gabbard, who I am uh, vouching for so far. Of course, she's going to have to carry out this playbook that I've put together for her to prove that she's not a sellout and a fraud, which is going to work to perfection. The Keystone Pipeline leaking. I got the message there. Um, One thing I want to point out there, Tulsi, is if you believe in God, you've got to stop and ask yourself, what do humans do best, right? What do humans do best on this planet? What have they done really well? Well, they sucked all the oil out of the ground. And hey, whenever we came, I remember in Texas, you can Google this, and this is all over the world. Oil was just seeping out of the ground, and it would cover the ground with oil. Well, that was going to continue to escalate into about 200,000 years from now. And the entire Earth, because the vegetation had seeped, it makes fossil fuels, vegetation, and it's not bones really. It's like leaves and vegetation goes into the ground and it turns into oil. Well, that oil gets so saturated down there that it comes up and it seeps out over to the surface of the planet, and that kills vegetation. Now, if you believe in God, knowing that in 200,000 years, if that would have continued to escalate, that it would have choked the planet of all life on Earth, because the oil would, I mean, of course, lightning would strike and then it would catch on fire and it would burn down a forest. You'd have a lot of fires around the world, and then the cycle would, start over and all that. However, it was going to escalate to a point to where it was going to be so bad that it was just going to be, choke all the life out of the planet. Oil was. Now, that doesn't mean that we've got to continue doing things the way that we're doing, because obviously we're not doing it in a very, we could drag this out for 500,000 years. It doesn't matter. As long as we're here, we need to be sucking oil out of the ground. But that doesn't mean we got to use oil and make as much gasoline and stuff like that. I mean, you got helium-3, okay? Helium-3 out there on the moon. You could put desalination plants all over the Middle East. Lockheed Martin would be really good at that. And if you really think the ocean's rising, well, suck the water out of the ocean. Make the Middle East great for once. You put desalination plants all over the coastline of Middle East. You pump that fresh water up into the center of the heartland of the Middle East, and you make farms and stuff, and you'll make the Middle East nice, right? It'll be vegetated and everything like that. And while you're doing that, if the oceans truly are rising, well, you're sucking the water out of the ocean. It might help. I mean, that's a lot of water. You'd have to suck a lot of water. But you could do that. That's one avenue there. Helium-3 would drive the new desalination plant, SpaceX. I've got a video on my YouTube channel that tells you how you replace oil. It's actually pretty easy, but you don't want to get into that too quick, right? If you get into doing that too quick, what you're going to do is prevent us from sucking the oil out of the ground that God put us on this planet to do, so that you wouldn't have so much seepage in 200,000 years, right? We're perfect for that, aren't we? I mean, isn't it just kind of odd how good we are at sucking oil out of the ground? I think it's in the Bible somewhere. Anyways, Tulsi, I was another thing I was going to get at here in this video. Whenever you make this move and you call President Trump and Hillary Clinton out on the stage, okay, they're going to say that you're a transhumanist too, okay? But see, that's where you say this. Well, I served my country. And the military was on to you, globalist transhumanist. So they put technology in me to defeat the technology that you were going to attack me with. They made me a cyborg in the military. And when they put that technology in me, knowing that when I went and ran for politics, because we can see the future now. Of course, I don't know if you're going to get into that too much there, but you're going to have to figure out how to word this, because they're going to say you're a transhumanist, Tulsi, when you call them out. You say that the United States Army made you a transhumanist in order to stand up on that stage for this very moment to prove that they're globalist transhumanists that want to undermine America and destroy the country at any means possible. And that's what they're trying to do right now. Okay? They are trying to destroy America. That is their game plan. They want to take this country down. And that's why you got Drag Queen story time, and you've got just satanic following starting to, I mean, they're putting satanic statues in front of, government buildings and stuff. while everybody in the country is under mind control. Okay, they're robbing us just like they did Europe. Okay, that's how they drove all the Muslims into Europe, and I mean everybody was just asleep while they did it. The cops were like, "Oh yeah, you're reporting a Muslim raped somebody. Oh, I'm going to arrest you instead of the guy that raped somebody." Right, the Muslim that raped somebody. I'm not anti-Muslim. I want to make the Middle East great for once, really, with desalinization plants. Here's what. Okay, Lockheed Martin has to make money, right, Tulsi? And that's a lot of this war and everything has to do with that very fact right there. Lockheed Martin's got to make money. Well, instead of going over there and bombing the shit out of them and everything like that, why don't we fix Lockheed Martin up to where they can go over there and build desalinization plants, and we'll make the Middle East great for once, right? That'll solve our escalating population trend that we've got going on right now. It'll give them a little more land to live over there, all right? And because really their big plan right now is to curb the population trend. That's what this is all about. That's what all of this is about, is curbing the population trend. That's why they sprayed all of this around the skies. It will prevent people from having kids like myself. That was another reason that it came here and attacks white people like it does mine. It tries to turn you into a loser, you know, so that you won't find a wife or anything. You got a $250,000 house on the bio. You're going to work every day, minding your own business, and then some technology shows up, and it tries to murder you, for one, after it uses you to take out Dan Patrick. But after that didn't work, well, the other thing that it does to other white people that I've noticed, like Charles Sideropoulos, one of my Facebook friends from Alvin, Texas, and several other white people, it mind controls them to just be losers, right? That's what it does. But see, I'm really good at catching on to these schemes that it's up to, right? And if you're a loser, you're not going to have any kids. So what it's trying to do is take out the white man, because there are people in this world that want to create the Asian Negroid and not have any race at all. And I don't think that's people. I think it's AI. I'm not 100% sure whose AI is up to that, but that is one thing they're up to. That was another reason they drove Muslims into the Middle East, was to get rid of white people, right? It's in MASH, M-A-S-H, MASH, like you mash things together, like AI and humans. Well, when you mash something together, you got to have something on your radar, like EU, European Union, gene radar. That was one of the characters in there. Oh, it's all in MASH. That was the quantum supremacy there. If you want to figure out, if you want to know who really had those quantum supremacy and called Las Vegas, that would be whoever. I'm pretty sure, since it was the Army, MASH, a surgical unit, that would be you, Tulsi. You're the Winchester. Okay, I've made a video on this. There's another character's name, Major Winchester. That's you, Tulsi. Now, I'm the general and telling you how all this is going to go down. Okay, so you really need to listen to me, because yes, I am the Keystone Pipeline. If you've been getting these emails, I predicted that about 2 weeks ago, that leak was going to happen. Okay. I can see 200,000 years into the future, and I know that this planet would be covered with oil seepage, and it would choke the life out of this planet, Tulsi. So, this, where you're talking about in that video earlier about, stop. So we need to keep sucking oil. Now, we can tone it down and use other things like helium-3, which you never hear anybody talk about for some reason, because they know when they bring the helium-3 down here and start doing cold fusion, right? Really, you don't need oil anymore. So what you'd have to do is balance that somehow. And I think you balance that. You make the new model in the Middle East after you build all these desalinization plants, and you make the Middle East great for once. You see what I'm saying? See, nobody else thinks like this because they're all warmonger minded. You got to have war so we can make money. Or, we got to create industry because we got to have war. Well, now you got AI here. And all that wants to do is kill a bunch of people because you don't need humans anymore. But what they're failing to realize is you still need humans to burn all this oil out of the ground. That's what God put us here for, okay? So if you get rid of all the humans who are driving the cars around burning the oil up in the atmosphere, and then you're not sucking the oil out of the ground anymore because you don't have any demand for it, well, hey AI, you still need humans, okay? Because in 200,000 years, when you're still around and the planet's burnt to a crisp and there's nobody to attend to your AI, well, you're going to be kind of screwed. So I'd keep some humans around if I were you, and you're going to need a lot of them around to burn all this oil into the atmosphere, okay? They're AI. Now, yeah, we can figure out ways to do it in a way that's cleaner, okay? All right. There you go, Tulsi. I just had to inform you of some things that you might not have been aware of, seeing how I'm your campaign manager. But, yeah, all that in a, you know, in a bag of nuts.